Look, that's us. What do you see? A billion little dots beginning to connect, trying to figure out, why are we here? What if it's to find out how we all got started, to discover a totally new chapter in our story? Or is it to protect us from harm through intelligent clothing hardwired with minds and muscles of their own? What if 3D printers could print limbs and organs that we could use to save lives? Or could we use tweets to map flooding in real time to speed up disaster response? If our survival depended upon it, could we monitor and predict how carbon dioxide is transforming the Earth? Could we help change the course of our planet? At the University of Wollongong, we're meeting the needs of an ever-changing world. Your world. It's what we stand for.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Casey Coates and I am the Postgraduate Recruitment Coordinator here at the University of Wollongong. Tonight I also have with me Dr. Robin Coman from the Faculty of Social Sciences to discuss all things WHS with you. Welcome Robin, thank you for joining us.
Good. Well, good evening everyone, welcome to this live chat. Well, as an introduction to myself, I'm a senior lecturer and coordinator of the Ergonomics specialisation within the WHS academic program here at UOW. I'm involved in the delivery of the introductory subject within the master's program, and I teach injury management and ergonomics at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. I'm a physiotherapist by first degree, and when working in the residential aged care sector almost 20 years ago, I developed a passionate interest in the manual handling of people and the safety of care workers, which led me to undertake a master's degree in ergonomics at the former School of Risk and Safety Science at the University of New South Wales. I then worked as a consultant physiotherapist ergonomist across health, aged care and disability sectors, as well as more broadly within industry. And in my PhD, which I also undertook at the University of New South Wales, I continued my investigation of the manual handling of people in aged care with a particular interest in environmental strategies that promote resident mobility, so keeping the resident mobile, and thereby reducing the risk exposure for staff. I've worked as a tertiary educator within the general education safety subjects at the University of New South Wales, within the Master of Ergonomic Safety and Health program at La Trobe University, before I joined the UOW WHS program as a continuing academic in 2014. Now this photo is taken of the uni main hall here at UOW, and in the uni hall you can watch a movie, you can attend some fancy dinners, and you can even graduate. And this links, this Find Your Why links to our motto, stands for purpose. At UOW, we stand for research, for innovation, for humankind, for the environment, and for our future. So what would be your why, your purpose for study? And how will you do it? And what will be the impact of that study? Now at UOW, the WHS academic program can help you to achieve that. Remember that education empowers and transforms more than people. It can shape our world. Now for almost 20 years, we've been delivering high quality work health and safety postgraduate education here at UOW. In 2008, this was further expanded through the introduction of an Occupational Hygiene Master's program, from which there have been over 160 students already graduated. The program was revised and relaunched in 2015, and the reason for the change was twofold. There was new Australian OHS accreditation requirements, and there was a need for all postgraduate courses in Australia to be compliant with the AQF, which is the Australian Qualifications Framework, which entails a greater volume of learning than was apparent within the previous programs. The previous 48 credit point Master of Science Occupational Hygiene Practice and Master of Science OHS therefore changed to a 72 credit point Master of Work Health and Safety degree with specialisations in Occupational Hygiene, Ergonomics or Risk. So here now at UOW within the WHS academic program, we are offering undergraduate WHS education through a WHS minor on the general schedule, and we're currently developing a WHS major. And within that undergraduate program, we're seeing students coming from a wide range of programs, particularly from Bachelor of Social Science and Bachelor of Public Health, but also from business and psychology. Whilst at the postgraduate level, we offer a graduate certificate, graduate diploma and Master of Work Health and Safety within a fully nested program. Now, fully nested means that all students are working through the same suite of subjects and the qualification that is achieved is determined by the point of exit. The first 4 subjects are required for the graduate certificate, which is 24 credit points. Proceeding on to complete a further 4 subjects, so the total of 8 meets the requirements of the graduate diploma, which is 48 credit points. And students can then proceed to the remaining 3 master's subjects. The Master of Work Health and Safety offers specialisation, as I said earlier, in Ergonomics, Occupational Hygiene or Risk. Duration of the course, the graduate certificate it takes 12 months to complete part-time. The graduate diploma requires 12 months full-time study or part-time equivalent, whilst the master's degree requires 18 months full-time or 3 years part-time equivalent. Graduate diploma and master's degrees meet the requirements for certification as an OHS generalist, while the Masters of Work Health and Safety in Occupational Hygiene meets the educational requirements for full membership of the Australian Institute of Occupational Hygienists. Our course, our master's program here at UOW, has both national and international accreditation. The course is accredited with the Australian OHS Educators Accreditation Board and the Australian Institute of Occupational Hygienists, whilst internationally we are accredited with the Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, or IOSH, from the UK, and the British Occupational Hygiene Society. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit now to the structure of the course and to the subjects that you will be undertaking in the postgraduate program. Now, all subjects are 6 credit points with the exception of the capstone project that you will undertake within the master's degree. All subjects involve both online and block teaching components of between 3 and 5 days. There are no electives, but there are those 3 specialisations that you would elect at the master's level. So to give you some understanding of the course, at that graduate certificate level, at the first 4 subjects, all students must, I might add, must undertake all subjects. The first subject has a 60 people and work. Now, this is the foundation subject for the master's course and provides a platform for the course and introduces students to their journey through the course at UOW. And it provides a basis, therefore, in risk, occupational hygiene and ergonomics. The HAS 871 WHS risk management provides a basis to risk management. I'll just here, excuse me for a moment. Whilst HAS 870 work injury management, it provides students with an introduction to how workplace injuries are managed, and the course provides exemption from the Safe Work New South Wales 2-day return to work coordinators training. Whilst HAS 861 Workplace Hazards and Hygiene provides an introduction to occupational hygiene practice. At the graduate diploma level, the 4 subjects, which are at 900 level, Law 969 provides students with an extensive understanding of WHS law. The subject is delivered by the law faculty here and occurs in the winter session. HAS 980 presents Industrial Epidemiology and Toxicology, and this course is taught by Dr. Vinod Gopaldasane, who is a medical practitioner and has also completed a PhD in OHS here at UOW, and by Dr. Shanaz Bakard, who is an eminent nanotoxicologist. HAS 973 provides students with an understanding of occupational health and safety systems, so both in assessing systems and in establishing them. Whilst HAS 961 extends the occupational hygiene content covered in the earlier subject, HAS 861, and it will extend a student's understanding of a range of areas, including understanding physical hazards in the workplace. Students will then, if they are proceeding to the master's level, will elect to do either ergonomics, risk, or occupational hygiene. In each of these specialisation, the student undertakes a major subject in that area. They complete a research method subject in which they will be developing their research proposal as well as studying research methodologies before they proceed to their 12 credit point capstone project, which has to be an applied workplace project. Now, across all tasks, across all subjects, there is a range of assessment tasks that you'll be undertaking. This will include quizzes, the production of reports. It'll involve both group and individual activities. Reports are generally required to be presented as industry-style reports, and you'll be required to utilise appropriate referencing. All written assessment tasks in our program must be submitted through the Turnitin plagiarism tool. Now, our courses within the WHS program run on the innovative and proven flipped classroom model with online content, a block teaching week, and online assessments and activities. Now, this allows students to attend university for a dedicated session to learn in the classroom, which is very much where their networking will commence. Now, flipping the classroom means that students gain first exposure to the new material outside of the class, and this is usually through e-readings and e-lectures, and then they're using the face-to-face class time, that block teaching session, for the harder work of assimilating that knowledge through a range of group activities. Now, within the flipped classroom, the roles and expectations of students and teachers change, where students take on more responsibility for their own learning as they study the core content, either individually or in groups. Now, this flipped style of learning suits most people, and it's also easier to get 1 week off work to attend classes at our Wollongong campus. Now, while you're on campus, you'll be building your social and professional network whilst participating in group activities, in practicals, and in social events. Now, all of our subjects are delivered utilising the e-platform of the subject Moodle site, and through that Moodle site, you'll be able to access all the information that you require. That will include initially your subject outline, and then the online component will be there, clearly labelled as for each week of the online component, where there will be the e-lectures, e-readings and other resources. And then the block week section will provide you with all required resources on a day-by-day basis.
Robin, we've just had a question come through.
Yes.
So I'll just read it out loud now. It's saying, how long to complete the program on a part-time basis?
For the master's degree, it would normally be 3 years. Of course, that can take longer should students have other issues that don't enable them to complete the subjects. So normally studying part-time students would do 2 subjects per session. So that's why it would normally take that duration. I should also add there, and I may mention a little bit later, that students who don't meet the eligibility requirements to enter into the graduate diploma or into the master's can come via the alternate pathway of the graduate certificate, and that is where they need to have a certificate for in OHS, or they have an occupational hygiene qualification and workplace experience, and so they enter, complete the graduate certificate, then transfer to the graduate diploma and then on to the master's. So for those students, they must commence part-time. They don't have that alternative.
Okay, thanks, Robin.
Okay, so just, which takes me immediately therefore to the entry requirements. So for direct entry to the master's, students must have a bachelor's degree in a cognate area, which is defined as 1/3 of the course is science-based, of at least 3 years duration from a recognised tertiary institution. The same applies for the graduate diploma in work health and safety. Whilst for the graduate certificate, students must have a bachelor's degree of at least 3 years duration in an unrelated area, or the Cert 4 in OHS and relevant work experience. Now, there are a number of areas into which we're currently extending our program currently, and we'll make mention of that here. So new subject areas will include applied work health and safety, well-being and health promotion, business management for WHS professionals, influencing and managing workplace changes, psychology for WHS professionals, technical and IT system tools and safety, history of safety, international safety, and nanosafety, particularly in emerging technologies. And only this week, one of our colleagues, Leanne Treadwell, who's a chemical engineer who teaches within our program and is undertaking a PhD in nanosafety, she is presenting at a nanotechnology conference here at UOW tomorrow on this whole question of nanosafety. So graduates of our program, we are workplace ready. They graduate with a sound understanding of the theories and concepts that they're going to require as WHS professionals. They have an understanding of how they're going to apply that knowledge across a variety of work situations, and they will have the skills, so the capability in soft skills that are going to be required to be able to join a management team. Now, some important information that you require in relation to our particular program are the dates of the block weeks. This differs from other programs that are delivered via the traditional lecture tutorial approach. So in our program, we have these block weeks of 3 to 5 days, and the dates are shown here in this slide. This enables students to plan for when they're going to have to attend the campus, because we have students that come from all around Australia as well as internationally. We endeavour to spread those block weeks out across the session, which we've developed that strategy based on feedback from students, and we also endeavour to have the assessment tasks for each subject also spread so that students do not experience periods of significant peaks in workload. I should also state that all of the block weeks are compulsory. They build on the online component, and it is in those block weeks where you will be not only consolidating online knowledge, but also developing the required technical skills across a range of subjects, particularly in occupational hygiene and in ergonomics.
Sorry, I just had a question come through from a student who's asked, is the block teaching only offered at the Wollongong campus?
Correct.
Right.
Yes, it is only here at Wollongong. A part of that reason, well, the course is focused here. We have academics, I should add, who we all have backgrounds within industry, but we also have guest lecturers who attend and provide components of the course. But there's also a need for significant technical equipment and for the OHS laboratory, and we only have that facility here at the UOW campus. Yes. Okay. So as to applying for the course, where you can find the course information via Course Finder, and I think Casey may be going to speak to that a little bit further. And then you can, once you've been able to review that information, you then proceed to apply. You can apply directly through UOW, but you can also now apply through UOW. I think for the first time this year, I think is the case. And I should mention that for all domestic students, Commonwealth supported places are automatically allocated to all students. Would you like to say anything further there on the application?
I'm just going to say I might do a quick run through on Course Finder and how to find the courses for work health and safety, and just how to navigate through those pages, if that's okay, just for a couple of minutes. Perfect. Great, thank you. So you'll all see in front of you on the screen, saying Course Finder. So you can actually type in your course at the top here for what if you know what you're looking for. But if you're still deciding on what area in, say, WHS, you can scroll down here and it will bring up a list of all of them available. So where am I going here? Social science. Click through here. It'll bring you to a page where you've got both undergraduate degrees and postgraduate degrees. So if you just click on the postgraduate tab there, it will bring up all the postgraduate coursework degrees that we offer. So just out of interest and just as an example, I'll click on the Master of Work Health and Safety for Ergonomics. And if you click on there, so this is a page that will pretty much bring up all information in regards to the program. So you'll have a course summary of who that program is directed for, or who should be in the program and looking to study it, what kind of things you'll study throughout the program. Moving further below, it has all the different course information. So it'll have the study area, which is obviously for this one at WHS. It will also state the duration of the program, as mentioned before by Robin. Also have the campus it's available at, the delivery modes, and if we scroll down a bit further, you can find information on entry requirements that Robin covered before. But if you need to go back and check what they are for either of the WHS programs, you can do so here. Also, as Robin mentioned, credit transfer. For example, if you're doing the grad cert and then looking to move into the master's program, there's a bit of information about that there, as well as fees. If we also go across to the key dates, it will have the dates that the program runs and what sessions. So this one's available in autumn of this year.
Always commences in autumn. Yes, yes.
If we go down a little bit further, it just has the course structure. So Robin went through the subjects in detail before, but if you want to go back for any of the programs, whether it be the graduate diploma, the graduate certificate, or the masters, you can go down here and just find all the subjects that will be required to study as part of that program. Okay, so I'll hand back to you.
Good. Thanks. Great. And I should mention there that just in relation to the application process, that once you've completed your application, it will be then forwarded to the WHS program and reviewed by the academic program director. So we process all of those applications to determine if the applicant is suitably qualified, or whether we can provide them with other advice to access our program. Now, we made mention there that the Master of Work Health and Safety program always commences in the autumn session, and that's because that's when we run HAS 860, People and Work, the introductory subject. And I mentioned that all students, regardless of whether they're doing graduate certificate, graduate diploma or masters, will be moving through that same suite of subjects together. So the qualification is just the point at which they exit. So that's important to mention. But I will also mention that we have a Master of Work Health and Safety Advanced. It might be Advanced Master of Work Health and Safety. I'm not sure exactly how it's worded now. But that program, it has particularly been of interest to international students, and it involves an additional 24 credit points of study, which can be a research project in WHS, or it can be subjects in health promotion that are delivered within the public health program. Should a student wish to undertake the Master of Work Health and Safety Advanced with the 24 credit points of health promotion, they can commence in the middle of the year, because those subjects run within public health, and then in the following autumn they would commence all of the work health and safety subjects. So I just make mention of that because I know it's of particular interest to international students who particularly wish to come and commence in the middle of the year. Okay?
I'll just touch on one other thing, just in terms of the application process. When you've obviously found the course you're looking for, check that you meet the entry requirements and apply online. We'll ask for what's called certified documents. So if you're applying for a course where you do need, say, a bachelor's degree, and for instance, if you have this bachelor's degree from another university, we will ask for the transcript from it and for it to be certified. So I guess the point of me mentioning this is if you upload documents that aren't certified, our admissions team will review it, but then come back to you and ask for those certified copies before an offer can be processed for you. So just to let you know that if you're uploading any documents that we need to base entry off and to give you an offer, just to make sure they're certified by a justice of the peace, and this won't hold up the offer process any longer for you.
No. And would it be appropriate just to mention about getting advanced standing at this point, and RPL? So you can, often students have already completed a graduate certificate or graduate diploma at another university, and you can apply for advanced standing, and we have tried to map subjects delivered in other programs to our subjects, so you can certainly apply for advanced standing so long as those qualifications or those courses were completed within the last 10 years, which is in accordance with UOW policies. Should you have completed study during a period greater than 10 years ago and have significant work experience, you may choose to apply for advanced standing through the RPL process. And that's also, I don't know whether you usually do show students how to access that, but it's quite easy to find through the search toolbar on the UOW website. If you just put in credit for prior learning or advanced standing or RPL, it will take you and guide you to that. But generally we encourage students to commence, put their applications in. They can indicate there whether they're going to be applying for advanced standing. Generally we require all students to do the foundation subject, HAS 860. And once you're here, we can work through with you what other subjects you've studied, what other work experience you have, to see if we can't offer more credit. But the students should, I would encourage anyone interested in our program to contact us because we're more than happy to speak with you over the phone or to arrange a face-to-face meeting to go through the program and your existing quals and experience, because the majority of our students are already working in the sector.
And I've just popped the link in for anyone listening who is looking to gain credit into the program, into the live chat, so you can access that at a further time, at a later date as well.
That's great. Okay, so just proceeding on, I've included some information here in relation to some of our graduates as well. So our philosophy is to equip the graduates from the Work Health and Safety program with the skills that they're going to need to be competent, confident and passionate about work health and safety, and that they'll be effective communicators out there within across all workplaces, and that they're going to be able to work with other professionals to protect worker health. So our work-ready graduates, they leave us with a very sound understanding of the theories behind work health and safety, and they have the skills, the capability and the practical knowledge of how to apply them in a wide variety of workplaces, both nationally and internationally. Now, we have a very strong alumni community, including there is in Occupational Hygiene, the graduates have developed their own Facebook community. There's also regular social and professional gatherings. Two significant ones is the AIOH conference, the Australian Institute of Occupational Hygienists conference, and the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society of Australia conference, as well as events that are run by the Safety Institute of Australia. Now, our alumni are doing great things at home and across the globe, sharing their knowledge and passion for WHS everywhere that they go. Some eminent graduates are pictured here. One is the current president of the Indonesian Industrial Hygiene Association. Also up there in the top right is a photograph of Kate Cole, one of our graduates who was awarded a Churchill Fellowship to study offshore in relation to an area of occupational hygiene. Then we have a number of I suppose just call them testimonials from some of our graduates. The first here from Louise Howard, who completed, and I might say these are students from our previous program because we're just starting to see graduates coming through now from the revised program that launched in 2015. So Louise completed our Master of Science in OHS, currently the Principal Manager of Safety, Northwest Project, Sydney Metro, and in which she said UOW provided a valuable qualification, highly regarded, that's opened doors in her industry. And since then, she's worked hard and has had an incredible role in Australia's largest transport project. Sean Minto is a graduate of that previous Master of Science OHS, a Director and Principal Consultant with Supply Chain Safety Excellence. As he states here, completing the degree enabled him to become a certified OHS professional through SIA, or the Safety Institute of Australia. Having attained both the degree and professional certification, gave him the confidence and the capability to start up his own safety consulting business. And on the next slide, you can see Janet Jackson, who previously completed our Master of Science in OHS, and she has now commenced a PhD here at UOW under the supervision of Dr. Alison Bell. She works with TrainLink. As she says, the course content at UOW was applicable to a range of careers and types of industry in which she's worked. The lecturers have relevant industry experience and help to provide the link between the material covered in the course and real world issues. And her doctoral investigation, she's now with New South Wales TrainLink, and she's investigating particularly rail suicide and the impact that has upon the train drivers and the guards. And she presented on her initial research at the Human Factors and Ergonomics Society of Australia conference that was held here at UOW in November. And finally here, another former student, Michelle Hermer, who completed the previous grad cert in OHS, who's a safety manager within the mining and resource sector. She said, my degree helped me in so many ways by being able to secure jobs over a diverse range of industries, working with different people in a range of organisational safety cultures and with various WHS management systems. Today, I'm in an industry which I've always wanted to work in, and in a workplace which I just have to describe as fantastic and the best workplace I have ever seen so far as safety culture, which is great to hear. Now, we also have a significant research program here within the UOW WHS program, a higher degree research program. We currently have 10 hygiene PhD candidates who are completing research across a range of areas. One of our lecturers, Jane Whitelaw is partway through her PhD looking at rebreathing, safety equipment and diesel particulates. We also have students across in the ergonomics sector and within risk. I'm currently supervising a student who's a teacher who's investigating psychosocial risk factors for teaching. The title of her current research is that of Is Teaching Work, which is looking very much at perceptions teachers have of what they do as teachers and why it is that they expose themselves to unacceptable levels of psychosocial risk. Now at UOW, you know, our contribution is quite evident across industry and across the professional associations. This was particularly evident here at the Ergonomics Society conference in November, where we had a number of papers presented by both academics and students. At the AIOH conference that was held in December of 2017, UOW's contribution was 7 scientific papers. As well as our former students and former students were recipients of a range of AIOH awards, such as the 3M Best Paper, Draga Young Hygienist, Industrial Scientific Award and AirMet Awards. Now in this slide here we've got, this was actually put together for the Hygiene Conference, which shows you many of the smiling faces of the UOW hygiene community, the alumni, which then they've got a nice box there in the middle. Why don't you add your photo here, which was, I think, a great plug for the program. So now just to some general information for potential students here at UOW. We have a range of support programs within the School of Health and Society, where the WHS program is located. There is, of course, the head of students who provides a range of support services for students. In the library, we have a librarian who particularly supports our program. There is the UOW Wellbeing Program, student support advisors, which students can easily access, peer-assisted study sessions, learning co-ops, one-to-one advice, student service centres and learning development. And certainly as educators, as academics within the WHS program, wherever we identify that a student may be having some issues, or they alert us to problems they may be having as they work through the course content, we support them as best as we can, and we direct them to any of the support services that are available here at UOW. So as to some of the achievements of UOW, it was rated #1 University in New South Wales ACT. It has a 5-star rating for graduate employability, and that's certainly relevant to the WHS program. It is within the top 2% of universities in the world, the winner of the Higher Education Award for Graduate Employability. I'm not quite sure, what is this, 138,594 from students maybe from 175 countries indicates the range of international students, and we do have quite a number of international students who study within our program. We see this particularly in occupational hygiene from the oil and gas sector, both across Asia and into the Middle East. 9 study areas were rated the best in New South Wales ACT. The university was rated in the top 50, 17 best modern university in the world, and top 1% for graduates as rated by global employers. As to the next slide, was there anything you wanted to say from a university perspective to
I can
this?
just go over this slide even.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is just a bit of a glance of UOW. So at current there's around about 32,900 students for total student enrolment. Out of that number there's about 13,000 international students. We've got 9 different campuses and about 304 degrees on offer, and WHS makes up quite a few of those in the social science faculty. So moving on to the next slide, this is just a bit about our research. So if anyone is looking at maybe staying on after their masters and moving into to do a PhD or a research degree, This is just a few statistics about that. Top 2% research universities worldwide. We've had 5 major research facilities we have available, and UOW, 57 UOW disciplines are above the world standard for our research. And just in terms of a bit about our city, so majority of you might be listening live in Wollongong, but if you don't, these are just a bit of general information about Wollongong itself. So you can see the amazing picture to the left of that slide now. So that's just one of a bit of a look at what our coastline looks like. The average daily temperature here in Wollongong is around about 22 degrees. Averaging 27 in summer. It gets a little bit chillier in winter. The population of the Illawarra itself has about 292,000 people, and it's quite close proximity to Sydney, being about 85 kilometres away. And we've got 17 patrolled surf beaches as well, so it's an amazing place to study at, and also an amazing place to live if you're looking to relocate here to study with us.
Indeed, and I must say the students who, I should mention with our block weeks, which the students always comment on what a great city it is. It's quite easy to stay in accommodation that's in close proximity to the university. There's a free bus, at least there still is at the moment, a free bus that circles the city that gives you easy access to the university during block weeks.
Okay, we've just had another question come in actually, which is asked, are the Commonwealth supported places for the master's course, or do you have to pay up front? Are there Commonwealth supported places?
There are Commonwealth supported places there for all domestic students, all students. So that's about half the advertised cost of a subject for domestic students. And I think there was also a question you said about permanent Australian, or those who had Australian residency, which they are then domestic students. So
they qualify for
that is my understanding. Okay. Yes.
Do we have a couple of questions come through?
We do, and I would just on that final slide, which just make a little mention about UOW Dubai. We've been involved now for 2 years with the development, or rather the introduction of our program at University of Wollongong Dubai. I went up there for the initial accreditation process, and our academic program director, Dr. Vinod Gopalthasani, has just been there in recent weeks, and that is continuing. So it looks like our program will be launching up there, let's hope within a year or so. The academics here will be supporting initially, but then they will be appointing their own academics to deliver that program, which will be equivalent to the program here at UOW campus. So as to some of the questions that have been sent through here, the message was, does postgraduate WHS coursework involve collaboration with the School of Medicine on matters such as ergonomics, biomechanics and occupational hygiene? Also, does a background certificate in WHS help with the course content? First of all, I'd make mention that our program used to be within the Faculty of Science, Medicine and Health, before we were moved into the Faculty of Social Science. We maintain very strong links with SMAR, with that particular faculty. A number of our academics who have completed and are currently completing their PhDs are doing so under the supervision of academics within SMAR. We also, Dr. Shanaz Bakam, the nanotoxicologist the toxicologist within our program who specialises in nanotoxicity, is researching collaboratively with IMRI as well, which is a research institute that is here. In terms of so we do things collaboratively. In terms of teaching, we actually teach ergonomics. I'm an ergonomist. My colleague Dr. Alison Bell is also, she's an OT ergonomist. We actually teach ergonomics to students from Science, Medicine, Health as well. Just in the next few weeks I'll be teaching the ergonomics subject, in which I have a significant number of students from the Master of Exercise Science and Rehabilitation course. In terms of biomechanics, again we have contact with the biomechanists. The laboratory is actually at the end of our hallway, but they don't necessarily teach into our program, but we have close collaboration in terms of research. Occupational hygiene is run totally through our program by certified occupational hygienists. in fact, all occupational hygiene academics must be certified occupational hygienists for a accredited program. As to a background with a Cert 4 in WHS, that certainly provides you with an introduction to the sort of content that you'll be covering in the program. And with work experience, if you don't have an appropriate undergraduate degree, as we mentioned earlier, that enables you to meet the eligibility criteria to enter the graduate certificate. Now, I've received another question here. Study area that I'm interested in is not listed. Work health and safety and risk, graduate diploma or masters. I'm not quite sure of the question here. As to risk management, it's taught throughout our degree. The coordinator of the risk specialisation, as I mentioned earlier, is Leanne Treadwell. She is a chemical engineer. She was over 30 years the national manager for risk for BlueScope Steel, Australia and New Zealand. We're very fortunate that she's joined us here, and she's now commenced her PhD in nanosafety. She teaches undergraduate risk, and in the postgraduate program she teaches the HAS 871 Introductory Risk Management. She teaches OHS Management Systems, and she teaches 967, which is the advanced risk subject, as well as supervising projects in that area. So risk is, of course, fundamental to work health and safety, and I also teach risk within the ergonomics subject as well in ergonomics risk management. I hope that addresses Janine's question, but I mean, if you still want to know more, please contact me. You can email me. I'm sure my email address is available if you just search me via the university website, and I can direct you on to other colleagues if I can't address those questions for you. So there's another question here from Terry asking, having completed a diploma of government, diploma in work health and safety, Cert 4 in training and assessment, and rehabilitation and return to work coordinator already, plus I have 5 years working in WHS. Would these meet entry requirements for postgraduate study? And if so, which courses would I be eligible to apply for? So as I mentioned earlier, you would most certainly be adequately qualified to apply for the graduate certificate in work health and safety, and on successful completion of those 4 subjects you would elect not to graduate, but you would apply to transfer to the graduate diploma in work health and safety. On successful completion of the next 4 subjects you would then again elect not to graduate but would transfer to the masters. So that certainly is a path of entry. Those subjects, what you've covered, would provide you as a great basis to and a great understanding for many of the subjects that you would be undertaking. However, they would not provide you with advanced standing because they wouldn't align with the appropriate AQF levels. So there's another question here from Joanne. I have an environmental management degree and work as an environmental risk management manager for a large council. Would an environmental bachelor be considered for the postgrad? Most certainly, that is an appropriate 3-year bachelor's degree in a cognate area. Then there's a question here from Kelly. Are Australian permanent residents eligible for the government-funded WH degree? And to my knowledge, you most certainly are. It's for all domestic students. It is only international students who cannot access a Commonwealth-supported place. So great. Are there any other questions? Nothing else is coming in there?
Nothing at the moment, but just to cover off just while we finish and wait for any additional questions to come through, I've popped in the Facebook for the Faculty of Social Sciences, so feel free to follow that just to keep up to date on all things WHS and faculty specific as well. I'll also post in, I put in the live chat for you to access Robin's contact details. So if you've got any course specific questions after this, feel free to send her an email. But I'm also just going to pop in the live chat our general future students email as well. And this can be, you can contact us via this email in relation to any course, especially WHS, and we will contact you in relation to that course. I also just wanted to let you know that we have live chats like this that will occur throughout the year. So we have a live chats web page set up on our Postgraduate web page. So I'll put both of those links in so you can access them, because you can actually re-watch this live chat.
Yes.
Or if you've got any friends or colleagues who are looking to undertake a course in WHS, feel free to send them the link so they can watch it anytime as well. So I'll pop those links into the live chat, as well as we have a social science general email address. So there's lots of different avenues if you've got any questions following this to contact us on, and we'll get back to you straight away in regards to the program.
Which is great, yes.
Lovely.
But certainly, as I've stressed, feel free to contact us. By contacting me, I'll redirect. You can contact Jane Whitelaw directly if you're interested in occupational hygiene, but if not, just contact me and I'll forward you on to the appropriate person.
Lovely. Well, I think that's it for the questions at the moment. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Robin, and giving us a lot of information on work health and safety. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for joining. Have a good evening.